Howdy everyone, and welcome to the stream. Hope y'all are doing all right. Today we're going to be drawing a couple enemies, if we have time. A couple. we prototyped a few enemies on the Discord, which I'll show you here in just a second, and we will be designing those. So I should have had this pulled up, but that'll do. So last night and this morning I did some live streams on the Discord, and we prototyped a few enemies that we want to throw into the caves. I've decided that I'm going to include the caves into the demo. It's going to be part of the demo gameplay. And so we need some sort of things to put in the demo, into the caves, which is what we're going to be working on here. Well, a lot in the Discord stuff. And so yeah, I'm going to put Travel to the side because I have another thing to show with him, and we'll show off the enemies right quick because that's what we're going to be doing here today. We have two. So we have this here. It's called a yo-yo spray, yo-yo enemy, and what it does is it will throw a little hat thing. What I'm thinking is maybe like a mushroom with a hat that it throws out and it comes back, and that's the idea with that one. And that one's pretty interesting when you have like other skellies and stuff. And then we have the sneaky pusher. Now this one I'm looking forward to. This one right now, what he does is he tries to get in behind where you're facing. So as you'll notice he's sort of staying in behind where I'm looking. And the idea here is he's going to be a bit of a pain in the rear end because you'll have to try to get to him, and he's going to try to keep sneaking around you. So that's the idea with this guy. He's a lot of fun when you combine him with some other enemies too. And so we'll do that right quick. I'm going to show you what that looks like when we get several enemies going. And that's the two enemies that we want to design today. So if I throw in a couple skellies, oops, and maybe a sprout, you can see that this guy becomes a bit of a hassle. And he's very aggressive, which is very interesting. So yeah, needs tweaking. It's still early stages of prototyping. May slow it down, may tweak it a bit. But that's the idea. Now the funny part about him is right now what he does is he tries to get behind of where you're aiming. I'm thinking we can have another variant to where he tries to position himself between, and he's also going to have a high knockback, so he's going to try to push you around. He tries to position himself between, imagine this is the player, he tries to position himself in such a way that he will knock you into other enemies. That's the idea with that one. New enemies, yes, new enemies. The second idea could be a bat. No, I want to be a little unique with the enemies. I'm sort of taking a somewhat Mario style approach with these enemies where I want them to be unique and simple and memorable. I want them, like, I don't want to just go with generic snakes and bats and wolves and spiders and goblins and bandits and all that fun stuff. I want to try and be a little more unique with my enemy design. The mushroom able to throw at the top is cool. That's what the idea for that one is. We're probably going to start with the second one first, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. Will the mushroom cat thrower use little legs or hop? Let's see, little legs or hop. Apparently, it could have only legs with the cap covering its eyes. I wasn't thinking about that, but that could be that could be really interesting, because when it throws its cap, you sort of see a whole new thing about it. Killer bunnies. We have the fun bun. We're not going, we have the aesthetics down for that. Sort of what this stream is about is sort of designing what these enemies are going to look like and then drawing them out. We already have the fun bun drawn out. That's more of a mechanical thing. I tend to do more coding and stuff on the Discord streams and do the art stuff here. Let's see. Rotten cheese balls. I'm not doing a whole lot with cheese. That's something we get a lot of suggestions for, and to be honest, I'm not that interested in it. It's very, very not my style. With cheese, I just want it to be just a valuable item that you find. Maybe it has good health benefits, not health benefits, but good healing properties, and that kind of thing, like a rare item that you might find, that kind of thing. Do you have an idea for what you want this enemy going to look like? Not a lot. Let me pull up the other one, this guy. With the yo-yo, I'm thinking it's going to be like a mushroom with an enemy, because a mushroom with a hat, it throws its hat. That could change, but that's the general idea that I have with that one. And these are going to be in the caves. This is let me pull up right quick. You're going to be in this type of area, and it's going to have a lot of these little mushrooms, and probably more magenta up here. And so I'm thinking mushroom that throws its cap is going to fit really well into that. Probably use the similar colors that we used for the mushroom that I just showed. And for the other guy, I'm not really sure. He's very agile, very quick. I'm thinking short. I want to do a sort of Amaya, I think, mentioned it'd be called an ankle biter. I'm not thinking so much as an ankle biter, but sort of in that vein, like just a small thing that runs around really quickly and then pushes you around, tries to, and when it does hit you, like it'll maybe play an animation and then bounce back, kind of thing. Right now it doesn't; it just hits you and then that's it. But the idea is it's going to try to push you around the combat and try to be annoying that way. Does he thrust into you or pushes you like a shield type thing? I'm thinking he runs full force and just sort of shoulders into you. That's the idea I have with that. How well I'll be able to convey that remains to be seen. All right. So, okay. So I want to start with the shover guy, but I don't really know what I want him to look like yet. Maybe it's like a rock animal. A rock animal could be interesting. Maybe a little golem. We could try to concept that real quick. If nothing else, I'm going to make that a note, because that sounds a really interesting type of enemy. And I actually have my note card this time. It's not a checklist. So, tiny golem. That sounds really cool. Like really, really, really tiny golem. I love the golem idea. Well, let's keep going with it and see if we can think of anything else. But cave beetle. Cave beetle. Is there a charging beetle? That one I'm not so about. Cave beetle feels generic. A slime golem. Oh, you know what? A golem with slime in between its crevices. Like a very slimy golem. A shadow bear? If we do a bear, it's going to be a pallbearer. And he's going to be a pet, more than likely. Rolling golem could be good. I'm really leaning towards that. I just want to see if we can get any more ideas. Maybe a drill mole. Now, with the drill mole, there's another, which I'll pull this up as well. In case you want to get some ideas for, like, if some other type of enemies that we could do. Because I'm going to do probably a couple more on more Discord streams tonight, probably. So I have here a few more that we'll come up with. And we had one, it was a fast-moving mole that swims through the ground like a dolphin, which I think could be interesting. And so that if I was to do a mole, that would be how I would do it. There's sentient crystals, which could be very interesting. I don't know that I want to do it for... Well, actually, maybe. Because crystals are part of the magic lore. So we could do something interesting with that. If not for the demo, then certainly for the game. But I would like to get it into the demo if possible. I don't want to fill this to the brim with enemies, though, because that's a lot of work. Granted, I have it down. I have the foundation in place where I can make enemies pretty quickly. There's actually a species of beetle that attacks by flinging other beetles. That's amazing. I want to look into that. Because that sounds hilarious. So I'm going to make a note for that right quick. And if you would be so kind, Amaya, to remind me about that later. Because I want to research that. See if there's anything interesting we could do with that. Trap plants that hold you and poison you or knock you into a random direction. I don't know that I want to be annoying with these enemies. This is for the demo, and so I kind of want to put my best foot forward. And I don't want to be annoying or have any annoying status effects. Beetles that fling at beetles. So yeah, sounds great. Okay, so you should look up the trolls from the new show Hilda. Yeah, we can take a look. But I think we're going to go with the tiny golem thing. So tiny golem. Let's get the player here. Let's get an updated reference of the player. And we will get started. Let me pull up characters. I should pull that up already, because I usually pull up a character reference, and it's nice to have. So let me grab the player. Oh, and by the way, we last time we did Betty here, which is Teddy's wife, and there's Teddy, and then I did the sister on stream, so that's Teddy's sister right there redone. This was the previous one. Terrible. I don't even know if I want to show it. That was the previous one, and so I redid it into this. I think it's a lot better, a whole lot better. I'm actually really happy with how this came out. I'm really looking forward to exploring her as a character. I already answered that one, Jones. A high-level skeleton with a larger skull for charging from behind. Like a ramming skull? That could be interesting. Now, I'm not want to get too many ideas right here. I already have the prototypes that we're going to be working on. I'm more interested in what we're going to do with the ones that we have. If you want to give suggestions, there's a link to the Discord in the description, and there's a suggestions channel. You can drop that kind of thing in. A ramming skull. Okay. And I think actually there's a command for it. We'll find out. Doesn't look like it, or maybe it might be case sensitive. So yeah. So we're gonna go with tiny golem. Do we have rock textures here? And we also did a bit of mossy rock there. But yeah. So we're gonna be using probably these textures. Maybe I want to do some stuff with golems. I really like golems. In fact, some of my favorite enemies in Dragon's Dogma is the golems. I think they're great. I think they're fantastic. So I would like to do some golem type things. Oh, we never did get that player. so the whole reason I did this. So yes, grab him right quick and pop him there. All right. So, tiny golem. I'm thinking about half the size of the player, maybe. The trolls in Hilda look like golems. We'll take a look right quick. I love the idea of a little golem running at the flare from behind and ramming them. It would look so goofy. That's the idea with these caves. At this point in the game, in the demo, things are still a bit goofy, a bit silly, a bit colorful. You know, we haven't gotten to the issue yet. Let's see. Okay. It's a goofy looking nose though. Will the game have multiplayer? Yes, and well, this is the whole thing. There's a facts document. Did I link the facts document in the description? I think I did. If not, well, check that out. If not, then I've entered that in a facts document on the Discord. I hate to point you there just for the facts document, but I think I posted it in the description. So, this guy here. Let's see. Like I said, I'm thinking about half the size. And by the way, I've got a new tablet here. It's one of those fancy ones that you can actually look down and draw at, but that would look silly on the stream. So, we want to... things ain't going to change anything. unless for a long period of time you see me looking down. That would probably be why. Okay. So how do we... Maybe he... It's going to be hard to get the details that I want in such a small sprite. But we'll see. Let me use the darker color for silhouetting. What about a friendly tiny golem that helps you in some way? I'm focused more on enemies right now. We could certainly do that. I'm curious, how much playtime are you aiming for the demo? I'm aiming for 15 minutes, Amelia. And welcome to the stream, by the way. It's good to see you. How well that achieves that. Could go more. It feels a little long from what I have right now. I haven't timed it or anything, but it feels like I might have more than that. But the idea is to be about 15 minutes. I want it to be short and sweet. Just sort of get the point across and everything. Speaking of which, Amelia, I always fear I'm not saying that wrong. She has a fantastic video on how to write stories for your games that I'm actually going to go, I've been wanting to check out again because I'm at that point in my game now. Speaking of which, you might like this, Amelia. I have also been working on my little events thing here. And I've got a whole bunch of events going on right now. And so I can be like, start. And the cool thing is, I have, if I can find it, here, a response thing. So I can connect up here, set up my responses, or whatever, and then have that branch off into like another action, like right there. Or even mod disposition, right? Like I can, if you say yes, then Lafo or Beth, the best friend, because I accidentally clicked it, their disposition goes up 3. That's towards the relationship thing. And then we can have these branching off in different ways. And so that's really cool, and that's something I've been playing around with. So even in the demo, I'm going to have branching dialogue, branching choices, that kind of thing. And branching events. Like even I can go on like a whole different event tangent. If I can even summon another event. Boop. So there. Really cool stuff. Really excited about that. So what if the golem could throw mini golems at you? I do want to do a golem chucking golem. Not a golem chucking golem. I want to do a rock chucking golem. It looks so cool. Awesome progress. So thank you. I'm very happy with it. But yeah, I'm wanting to do a rock chucking golem and a golem chucking golem. It's great, especially with these guys right here, given how tiny I want to make them. Fantastic stuff. Let me make a note right quick. Golem that throws tiny golems. Okay. Like let's see. What if the big golem could throw the mini golems at you? I didn't know Breath of the Wild did that. I played Breath of the Wild far enough to get off that plateau, and even that took me like a week because I played it like 10 minutes at a time. Oh, I need to check that game out again. A lot of people reference it. So let's see with this guy. Now, I want him. He's short, and I want him to be sort of have a aggressive, almost confident feel to him. So I think I'm going to try and spread his stance a bit. Maybe he stands with a bit of attitude. Now this, anytime I try to do something fancy like this, it never goes out too great. What if, this sounds like a creepy idea. Maybe not for this one, but like, what about like a sort of like almost got his knees bent, like he's got really long legs. I might explore this for another enemy, but I think this could be somewhat interesting. That honestly, I mean, that's not too bad, right? Join well, this Nightbot. Quit doing that. I keep thinking it's any key. Do you consider multiple types of golems, like earth golems, rock golems, dim golems, metal golems? I when really early on, like before the first devlog, I was considering resource gathering, and I was going to make it. I designed an auger. I don't even know if he's in here, and the auger was going to drop metals that you could use for like crafting and stuff. I've decided I'm not going to go with the resource gathering, but we'll see, because I do want to do like weapon crafting, and that could be useful. So maybe there's some rare augers that drop that kind of thing. This is a really goofy looking auger. Oh, this was very early on when I wasn't good at my characters at all. So yeah, this guy right here. And he was going to throw rocks. He was, when I was talking about earlier, I was talking about a golem throwing rocks. It was going to be this guy. But no, he's terrible. So, enjoying the live. Very nice watching. We're glad you like it. It's very good to interact with y'all doing these. That's what I really like to do. Auger moment. Mike Brown with a 20 English, British pounds. Have a beer on me and tell us how your overall progress and goals are going. Overall progress and goals are going pretty good. I've been working on the event system that I just showed, and that has taken up my time for a bit. It's actually taken a lot of time for me to get that. But that said, it was taking me longer to manually do all the coding. Like I was doing all those events through code, and it was very difficult to get what I wanted easily. Even just the tiny little interesting, which I can go ahead and show while I talk a little bit. Even just this tiny little interesting right here, where you no, not debug. Or you come up here, and I've probably, no, I don't have any OP sword no more. And these sprouts, by the way, I tweaked their movement, so they got really fast when they flee. They're not supposed to be this fast, but they kind of are right now. So they're kind of funny to deal with. A little bit too annoying though. But this whole thing right here, where when you come up here and they're fighting, and then you and that's supposed to be longer. And then this whole scene here, like all this, just that right there took like 50 lines of code, and then it was getting to be annoying. And it's not, there's like, that was without the branching. I wasn't even doing branching at the time. And so I was like, it was taking me days to do that kind of thing. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a UI for this. And I haven't looked back since. It's great stuff. So that's where my progress has been right now. Really enjoying it. This almost seems weird though. Bro, will I ever be noticed? Probably not. What program are you using for the branching dialogues? I created my own. I don't know what show to get. I want to get some work done. I created my own graph node system thing in Godot that allows me to do it. No, I don't like this. I'm going to keep this and move it off to the side. Hooray for learning. My brain is drooling. Learning is fun. I do love to learn. So no, I don't want to do the creepy crawl for this guy, but I do want to try to get him with a broad stance. Do we want arms? What do y'all think? Should we give this guy arms? Let me sketch it out right quick. Let's give y'all something to... We might have to give him arms. That's all. Yeah, we're giving him arms. All right. That changed a lot. And that was actually... Okay, that's perfect. I think that's great. After fixing a thing, woke up a solution finally implemented. Great to have you back in. Oh, great to have you in, Nikki. Let's see. Or he could just jump at you to attack. That's the idea. Like he's going to run around you, and he'll run at you. And I'm thinking once he gets within range, he'll jump. It'll probably be an aesthetics thing, but yeah. Army for the army of golems. Like I said, I do want to do a lot with the golems, Could we do an army of golems instead of the story? I don't want to tag, like, we don't want to have too many story little things. We already have the sort of mushroom thing. Could we do it, though? Maybe. Back burner stuff. I'm going to make a note for some deep golem lore, because I would love to play with some golems. Are these mushroom people from Fantasia? I don't know what that is. Is that a message for it? And you would be him shoving you? That's what the idea is. Like he's going to run, jump, and sort of shoulder bump you is the hopeful idea. So, that looks really good. I'm happy with that. I'm worried about that shoulder being too low on the other side. I think I want a big broad shoulder here, though. Yeah. I think, what if we bring it out a bit? No. Okay. So that's what we're going to go with. I can't make him brown, of course. I have a tendency to use a lot of brown. And this cave is going to be pretty brown. Probably with a lot of little colorful decorations. So let's try gray. We can always change the color later if we need to. I'm thinking I might need 3 colors, maybe. I'm thinking I want to do sort of not as smooth. I don't want to make them smooth. I think I want to do some sort of like surface type things. I don't know how this will look, but sort of like little changes in the surface. Maybe we like, I don't know how to explain that. Like, you know what I should do? I should pull up references for golems. In your stream, how do you get those black boxes behind you? Amazon. They're called acoustic panels. You broke my fourth wall there, and I didn't realize what was going on. Let's see, golem. Not interested, Envy. Let's see. Let me pull up reference things. Let's pull up some golems. These are some big golems. I don't want big golems, but we still can use the concepts. There's a thing in the FAQ, Envy, about if you don't answer, I can only answer so many things. I answer the ones that I think are most critical. I've seen your comments. I'm just not interested. Sort of like this. Oh, come on. What are you doing? Ah, it's a video. That's why. Ugh. That was a really cool one. I can show you. I'm thinking something like this. Sort of like, you can see all these little jagged edges. Not jagged, but sort of, yeah. It might be hard to get across with 3 colors, but we'll try for sure. About this one? Hey, you got it. Okay. I'm gonna look up tiny golem and see what we can get. If you don't, yeah. Let's see. This one's a cute golem. This is not what we're going for, but, might as well keep it there for reference. This guy's kind of depressing. Kind of looks like a turtle. Oh, this is cute. Oh, that's creepy. Okay, one more, hopefully, if we can find one. Starting to, oh, these are weird. I'm gonna pull these up too. Okay. So, how the golems blend in with the rocks from different areas in the game. Yeah, we'll probably do some kind of different area golems and stuff. Let's see. So I guess what we'll try to do. I don't know how I want to do this. Let me get his eyes going. Now, since he's going to be a lot of rock, it might be difficult to get the eyes how I want. For now, this is not the color I'm going to use, but I'm going to use this for the eyebrows. Just sort of lay something down. Greetings from Russia. Welcome. Greetings from America. Never mind. But savage. What if you give the mini golem stubby little legs like Link from the Wind Waker? Well, that's what he is. Like we have the little. He's got little stubby little legs. I don't know. I'm thinking I wanted to be proportional to his body. Maybe we can try to decrease the size by 1. Nah, I don't like it. The rock is Baba. I don't know what that is. Unless your Baba is you. It's the only Baba that I'm aware of. Wait, isn't there? Nah, Baba Yaga, right? Something like that. It's not a witch. It's gonna be tricky. I don't want to get too. Okay, I don't know what I want to do with this. I don't want to get too detailed with it. I got to remember I'm keeping a sort of simple cartoon-like aesthetic, and I don't know how I want to achieve this. I'm going to outline right quick. And think. Maybe I do need to bring that up though. Maybe. Oh, it looks weird when I do that. That's gonna be tricky. One long arm. Oops. Are you saying it looks like a long arm, or I was thinking this arm sort of pulled back a bit. I don't want to give him a long arm though, because it doesn't really have anything to do with his character. He's a pushy guy. He likes to push stuff around. Let me pull this up right quick so I can show it on. Because I guarantee we're going to get a lot of questions. Might as well have it ready to show off right quick. So this guy right here is what we're making. And you'll see that he likes to get behind you. I don't know why it's going around the front now. Unless, okay. There you go. His main goal is to get behind you and sort of linger there. And the idea is like as you change your aim, he sort of does that. And so he's harder to hit because like you have to sort of predict where he's going to be. So that's that. And then we'll have that ready for anybody that asks. So we want to lean in toward the shovey thing. What I'm thinking is he's gonna run up and then shoulder bump you. And so that's what we want to lean. That's what we want to lean into. That would get. And we could give him a big shoulder. Sort of highlight that shoulder. Maybe. He could be a mud golem. Mud doesn't make much sense as for the like. I'm wanting him to be sturdy, and I think it would be. I don't think mud would make sense for that. We might play around with some mud golems at some point. Let's get an idea for how his body looks. Because right now, I'm not sure where to take this. I don't want it to be this dark though. We've got the silhouette. Let's go up a notch. We could even... Oh, that's what that's for. Let's bring these here then. Wait, what? Where did that color come from then? I don't know. Maybe, because that's a harsh outline. Might just sort of outline it a bit. Man, this is going to be it's going to be a lot tougher than I thought it would. Shoulder pads. Maybe some shoulder pads. That would mess his silhouette up. Unless we do it a different color. We could go with a different color. What color should we use? What about... I don't want nothing that stands out too much. Actually, I think I like this. Maybe you could give him a big slack jaw that takes a third of his body. We could try that. Let's see. Let's see. Is that okay? That might help with his sort of physique type thing. Like, I wanted the jaw to be sort of squarish, probably. It kind of reminds me of Lafo, though. Oof. Ooh, he looks a little more commanding now. Okay. And what if we sort of highlight it a little bit? Nice, underline. What am I doing? Maybe make his head more square too. Can you make him that he rolls when he attacks? I'm thinking he charges. Like comically so. Probably big wide steps. And and then he'll jump at you when he gets close enough, probably. There will be probably plenty of room to do rolling. What is up with this? But I don't think it's here. This is, I don't know. I think I like the previous head better. Maybe have him run when he's low on HP. No, I want to keep behaviors simple. I'm not wanting to get like that's more of a, I don't know. It's more complexity than I'm interested in. I'm wanting to keep things very, very easy to understand for the player. Like, I don't know. I just not looking at implementing self-preservation is what I mean. For the most part, there could be an enemy that's its main thing, but for him, not so much. He seems more like a fight to the death kind of guy. This shoulder's gonna be weird. I would like for that to be bigger, but it's not working out. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird one. I'm gonna say that thing gonna roll. Nah, not gonna roll. It's gonna run. He's gonna run comically so, I think. Maybe the light finger divisions so the arm doesn't look like cheeks. We'll probably do some things here. I don't know about finger divisions. Nothing else has finger divisions. Like, kind of weird. A cheese baron might have some fancy finger work. Maybe he eats rocks to regenerate. No. Hey, like, if I do a regeneration thing, it's going to play into the character's, like, style. Like, it wouldn't make much sense for just to have a random character regenerating. This is being irritating. It'd have to be something like that fits the character's style, though. Like, this is a very, very melee, straight to the point type of character. Oh, that little squat golem is kind of cute. This guy up here, yeah. He's kind of creepy. If you're talking about this guy, but yeah. I'm going to bring him down just because. Oh, no. He's funny to look at. We might do something with him later. I don't know what yet, though. Maybe some kind of hopping thing. I kind of almost want to do like a weird little dancing thing. Imagine like a dancer where they sort of move one leg at a time and there's like really high steps. I don't know. I always think of golems as large. This is a cool tech. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about this guy then. I think this is cool. I think this is a yeah. Like, that's me. I like to do things that are not ordinary. I don't know how. He's a tricky one though. I don't. He's getting to be too smooth. I don't like it. Maybe add a bit of variation here and there. Oof. Now it looks like he got his chin out too much. We could lean into that though. I think maybe we have to bump him up a little bit. Does making him charge on tree or whatever damage him? Oh, that could be. That's something I didn't even think about. We could do something like that for sure. I don't have anything like that implemented. In fact, I think if he were to hit something, he'd probably just stop. So I don't. I mean, no, he'd get stuck on it. Like he'd keep charging into it. I think until his timer runs out. So I'm glad you mentioned that. In fact, I'll make a quick note. Oh. Fix golem hitting obstacles. Okay. It can get a weak spot like in Zelda Breath of the Wild. What kind of weak spot are you thinking? Now, he's very, very nimble. He moves very quickly. It might be difficult to really zone in on it. Like when I found when I was fighting him, it's a lot of trying to, like, I mean, that could just me. I'm not a fantastic gamer, but it was more trying to aim at where he was because he moves so fast. Aim at where you think he'll be rather than trying to hit a certain spot. We'll see. I'm so glad to learn how to with you. This is so inspiring for us beginners. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you find it useful. There you go. Make a healer that can heal the enemies. That it takes a bit of balancing. I don't expect anything like that for the demo. But I think we talked about it before. We might have talked about it before with the mage skelly. So very late. Not really. We're just a lot of talking. A lot of figuring stuff out. Me pushing pixels around. Haven't really done a whole lot. Trying to figure this character out and how I want to do it. I'm thinking maybe we probably need to give him a mouth, right? Like a really big... He's almost too happy though. I don't... It looks too happy. I don't want him to be that happy. But I'm going to move this off to the side for a bit. Because I wanted to try an angry face. But we'll see. I'm thinking we gotta go happy face. He looks like he's supposed to be a wily one, more of a sneaky one. Maybe we take this off. Put emphasis more on the other shoulder. His shoulder doesn't seem prominent enough. I really want it to stand out. But it looks like he's just doing goofy poses, and it might be the mouth. I just joined him already spawned. There you go. He pretends to be a rock, then jumps out and shoots you like a ninja. I don't know that we're going to make him pretend to be a rock. I do want to do some kind of thing like that, but I don't want to overdo it. And I kind of want to save it for now. We can always change it later, like after the demo. I want to save it for a really good enemy. Like, I don't want to just do it, because, I mean, that's a commonly expected thing. But I kind of want to do something more with it. I don't want to just do it. You know what I mean? So I want to save that until we have a really good idea for how to do that in a fun little way. Oh, let me add my quick shadow right quick. There we go. Mushroom shoulder pads. Oh, that's good. I mean, mushrooms don't seem like they'd be good shoulder pad material though. I went with that brown. Actually, that was supposed to be like a temporary color, but I was thinking more like a leather thing. I don't know, but we could try it. But I don't like. Yeah, I don't see how that could work. But like I said, the mushrooms, they don't seem like a good shoulder pad material. I would like to incorporate some mushroom stuff into these enemies. Like maybe they're taking over them kind of thing. I don't know. Is there a scared animation for him when he turns into his rock form? Why would there be a scared animation? Maybe wood shoulder pad? Wood doesn't make sense. Silver pad is some kind of material. He's already gray. I mean, well, we could always change his colors. If I were to change his colors, I wouldn't know what to, though. Now, I'm thinking I might incorporate, like, melee with red. Not as prominent as the purple is magic, but might be a good shorthand. We could have maybe some red mushrooms. It does stand out more, though, don't? And it looks dangerous, because red is a dangerous color. Crystals or stuff like mine. We already have some that I concepted out. Not even here. Oh, that would be in the cave muck-up. I'm supposed to. Or is it? There we go. So yeah, we already did a bit of crystal stuff. We can bring that here as well, because we might need it. Oh, come on now. There we go. So we can bring that here because we might incorporate it into the enemy somehow. Now, the crystals is more of a magical thing. This is more of a melee character. And right quick, I'm going to... And so I don't know that I want to give this guy crystals because he's not magical. Or, well, I mean, maybe he's a magical construction. Maybe that could be an interesting thing to explore. Like, why are there so many golems? Something to consider. Maybe crystal shoulder, again, like it's more of a melee thing. Like his shoulder is more of a melee thing. Magic should be associated. Crystals should be associated with the or the purple at least should be associated with the magic. Now, if we come out, I don't want to do it here, especially not for the demo. We could do a thing to where like it's a magically charged attack. Oh, that might work. Mushroom on the head. We're gonna do. I don't want him to look like a mushroom though. I want him to look like a golem. So don't know that I'm getting across. Actually, I think I'm gonna go back to this for now. Maybe I'll add that. blends in too much with the, in fact, this whole thing does. Might have to change that a bit. You should add caves. That's what we're working on, enemies for the caves right now. There's going to be caves in the demo, I've decided. And so that's what we're doing right now. So we're doing the enemies for the caves. A magically charged attack which disables your magic for a few seconds. Now, like, I don't want to get too, like, I want to do mostly melee oriented, at least for the demo. And I don't want to do any annoying status effects, especially for such little content in the demo, because the demo is only going to be 15 minutes. Imagine, you know, 5 minutes of that is fighting an annoying enemy. You're going to think a third of the game is an annoying enemy. So I kind of want to put my best foot forward with this and use like really fun to fight enemies. I don't want to be annoying. Especially not for the demo. And I don't know. I'm like I mentioned before in the abilities devlog, how I found that when I didn't have magic, I just sort of hung around and didn't do any fighting, and I kind of want to avoid that. I don't know. So I want you to always to be able to attack it somehow. Well, I guess you'd have your magic wand, wouldn't you? I'm not going to get into details. We have the guy concepted out, and I think that's good enough for now. I'm not going to get hung up on how that leg looks. That'd be something for another day. Maybe a little bit of shadow, though. Because it is bothering me. A little better, but it seems like he's leaning really heavily. Anyhow, that's it. We're going to do the mushroom guy now. So, I just came in. Welcome to the stream, Happy. I think the little rock smile is fantastic. If you keep that, yeah, I'm thinking I want to keep it. Maybe, what if I'm going to play around with it a bit, though. What if we... It looks more like a smirk. What about if we just sort of... Oh, that looks a little more menacing. What do y'all think of that? When do you think the next video will come out? My full attention right now is on the devlog. Is on the demo. So devlog, I'm not concerned about doing devlogs right now. I'd rather have a good demo, and so that is my main concern. So I don't know. Do not know. I would like to get one out soon. It's been a while since I've had one. But until I'm at a comfortable spot to where I feel like I can not work on the demo for a few days to do a devlog, and I'm not at that point right now. Add some plants as their hat. I think he has enough detail right now. I want to focus more on that shoulder. I want to sort of... I think adding a hat would take away from that, especially the hitting part. Like, it would seem like it would get in the way of all that. I want that shoulder to be prominent, and so you get the idea that, oh, this guy has a massive shoulder, and he's going to charge at me with it. That might be a bit too massive. Yeah. That color's weird, though, because it's so similar to the background color. I don't know what else to use, though. What about blue? Blue seems too calming, though. Yeah. We'll figure it out. I could... The tiny golem village, maybe. Let's see. Small golem can roll at high speeds to attack the target and have the chance to throw a sharpened stone. No chances. I don't like doing chances. I'm going to keep things simple and predictable. Like the way I'm planning on doing combat is having a wide amount of very simple enemies so that I can combine them in various ways to do interesting features. Sort of like try to create emergent combat from the fact that I have simple, easy to understand enemies. But a whole bunch of them. Not a whole bunch of them, but a good bit of them. So yeah. Mixes the brown with the dark brown is like it's crackling. Maybe. I don't want it to look like it's crackling, but something to try for sure. or something like that. What do y'all think of that? at about 50%, they be cracking. There you go. If you look at it from far away, the shoulder pads look like clown hair. Did I paint them red? They were red for a bit, unless you're behind. Or a bit of moss. Maybe. Maybe a bit of moss on this guy. Because we'll see. I don't want to get into it. The concept is there. On the Discord, I'll probably polish it up some. I just want to get the idea down for what this guy looks like. And I think we got it. I think we are there. Maybe a bigger hand. Oh, that might have done it a good bit of it. I still want to play around. That looks like some banding. We can probably make this a little bit bigger now. In this direction. Alright. But I think that works. Okay. So, the mushroom guy. So let me show him right quick for those who are not aware. We have the yo-yo. And what I'm thinking with this guy, I'll show you right quick, is he'll sort of throw his little hat at you and then bring you back. And I'm thinking like a mushroom cap. He throws like a little yo-yo type thing. So that's how that's going to work. And so I think that's cool. Cute golden bug. Now, like I said, at this point in the game, things are still a bit silly. Things that haven't gotten serious yet. So silly is a really good play for this. Might even go with a tiny mushroom. I mean, we'll probably do I don't know how many enemies I want to do for this thing. I'm thinking 2, maybe 3. He said he would like a sneaky tackler, like said he would be like a sneaky tackler, like a rugby player or something. Make him slow. Yeah. No. We already have that. What is it? What if it's more boomerang like? A lot of planning for that one. Yo-yo is really simple to do, and I kind of like how it looks. So enemy throws a mushroom on a chain. I haven't thought about what it's attached to or how it gets it back. Maybe magic. I don't know. I haven't considered that. That's what the point of this is. So maybe a chain. Why a chain, though? Oh, it kind of makes me think of a top. Like, imagine... I might do this for something else. Like, imagine a mushroom top there. Probably more. Something more like that. Right, with a little bit of shading here. And then a little stem coming up the top. And that'd be like a little attack type thing. Maybe they throw it out and it sort of scales along. Why do you even own? And the reason I thought of that is because maybe there's like a chain on it there, but that's an idea to play around with. I'm going to make a note for that. Or maybe it is a mushroom. maybe it's a breakdancing mushroom. Oh. So I would work better in a boomerang pattern to give an impression that it was fun. I think so. Oh man, yeah. I think we're gonna add that to the demo. To the demo. Time to color. All right, let's go ahead and color. Oh man, I wouldn't expect that was a quick one. All right. So what I'm thinking with this one, we can go ahead and discuss this one since I'm trying to figure it out. This thing's kind of big too. Like, do we keep it this big or do we scale it down a little bit? But maybe with a spore trail. This is looking like Earthbound meets Zelda. I've never played Earthbound, so I wouldn't know. No idea what you're talking about. Come on now. Alright, bring him off there. Okay. Make it really small. What does everybody else think? He's too big? Scale it. Okay. We'll try and scale it. How's that? That seems a bit more reasonable, right? No, there's a will fix the smile. And I'm thinking with this guy, we'll probably use more of the colors we established here. We'll fix it. So what kind of smile do we give him? I'm wanting... Oof. I want a bit of a playful smile. I want this to be sort of a goofy character. It looked like a Shroom Warrior from Hollow Knight. I played a little bit of Hollow Knight, but I don't think I remember any mushroom things. Goofy, not rude smile. If it spins around you, and then when you attack it, it pushes. Oh, that could do that too. That could be an interesting thing, and it bounces off a wall, so you have to be careful of how you hit it into the walls. Very cool stuff. I like it. Okay. I need to play Hollow Knight. I never beat it. It was pretty good. I got to that the little lady that did the dashing and stuff, and I didn't beat her. I tried to fight her like 8 times. Could not beat it, and I just gave up. Never played it again, unfortunately, because I was having a lot of fun with it. He looks like he doesn't want to hurt you. Well, hold on. We haven't given him eyebrows yet. You say that now, but we haven't given him eyebrows, so hold on. That usually fixes that. Oh, come on now. Okay, I'm just going to redraw it, apparently. Jeez. There we go. Eyebrows, man. They changed everything. Also, I think you're talking about Hornet. Hornet, there you go. Let's see. What if to fight them you just play 2D just dance? No. It'd be funny if he's just trying to dance, but I can't see where he's going. So, that would be funny. That smells tricky. Might need to give him feet. Yeah, we'll get to that. That's what these are. You just ain't got to that point yet. Working on the mushroom mostly. It's a bit oddly shaped. Oops. Well. Is he meant to be? He is meant to be upside down. Yes, he's a spinning top. Let me draw. Might have to do some little lines or something. Something like that. Now for the top. I'll do that. Oh, I don't even think I have an under top color. Probably more grayish. Something like that. And okay. Now with this, maybe it's actually a friendly character, but when you first meet him, you have to beat him in a fight because you can't see where he's going. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that it'd work out. He's kind of big, kind of wide. Maybe it would be cool, and I'm not going to say this because I don't know that it'd work out. But it would be cool if he was a pet. But to get him, that you have to fight him because he's like, cool, hey, look at me, I can dance, watch me dance. And then he starts spinning, and it turns into a boss battle, and he doesn't even realize he's fighting. But once you beat him, he decides to join you on your adventure. I don't know. Oh, silly. It's an interesting idea. I don't know that we'll do it, but it's something to consider. Oh, you are mad for no reason. You attack the guy upside down. I don't get it. I just like those eyeballs in Mario 64. You need to run them around them in the opposite direction to counteract the spin. It doesn't make sense though, in my opinion. Even those enemies don't make sense. Well, they make more sense because they look at you and you make them dizzy. Doesn't make sense for this kind of character though. And I'm not wanting to do too much gameplay wise. Like I'm really short on time right now. I should be polishing right now, but I'm still working on finishing the cave gameplay. Then after that, I should be good. I should be good to start polishing stuff. Why is the pig called Truffles? Just his name. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it makes more sense for the eye, not so much for this one, I don't think. Also, get rid of that. And I like this little guy. Oh, oops. Make him arms? We should try to give him some arms. I kind of feel like arms will take away from it, but we can see for sure. Like what are the arms? What are the maybe he does sort of say like look at me. No arms. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a copy right quick. We're gonna have, just in case we don't like the arms and want to remove it later. We're gonna do some tiny little arms maybe. Because I don't know I think it's funny looking, but I don't know. He said he don't want any CC abilities into him. That's what CC means, but yeah, I ain't wanting to do too much. I'm wanting to use what I already have, basically. Don't need to make any more mechanics, because that will slow down development by a lot. Now, also another enemy, I'm going to talk about this while I'm thinking about it. Another enemy I'm planning on doing on the Discord later is a sort of hot potato enemy, to where it's paired with like several other enemies just like it, and they each have, they're not each, but together they have a sort of projectile that they throw around each other, and maybe if you get in the way you get hit, and then occasionally they'll try to throw it at you probably. I don't know how I'd convey that to the player in a way that's easy to understand, but I think that's an interesting idea to play around with. That one feels like it might take more time than I want it to implement, though. So a bit worried about that one. Small potato enemies? No, they just throw the potatoes. CC, crowd control. Gotcha. Yeah. Add an outline. There's an outline. Well, we could try to outline the actual thing itself since it sticks so far off of the mushroom. And then we can add a bit of here just to give it a bit of texture. That's going to be tricky. Without losing the funness of the shape. Maybe that leg's too big. I'm kind of scared to touch the leg though, because it looked really good. Well, we have backup over there. Nothing else. Don't lose the funness. We want to do a fun guy. That's a really good use of that very common joke. I regret suggesting arms now. Like I said, we have backup. Actually, it wouldn't even be that difficult to remove. Narrow them out a bit. Actually, bring that down there. Yeah, I do think it looks better without arms. I think that works for the most part. Maybe put a little bit more shadow here. I don't know that we'll do that too much, but like, I kind of want to get a point across that it's behind. Oh, that might work. Maybe even more. There you go. Yeah, smashing the armor is good. Yeah. Maybe he has the purple string bits like the ribbons that show when he was spinning. Oh, that could. Oh, that's a really good idea. Get rid of this one. Make another copy because I feel like that could ruin it. Like if I do it wrong, because I'm quite likely to do. But that's a really cool idea. Okay. So we need to decide which way he's turning. Probably have to look at his feet for that. I'm guessing this way. What do y'all think? Kind of looks like that's the way he's moving. Thought purple is equals magical. That is a good point. He is not magical. The reason I was going to go with it was because it's in the other mushrooms, and he's sort of a very, variant on that. But that's a really good point. Maybe he is. This is not something we have to commit to right now, because this guy's probably not going to be in the demo. Maybe not. Maybe not. But if he is a pet, we could explore that later on. Like when he's standing upright. Maybe he is, and maybe he has some magic to him. So for now, this is not a canon thing then. For now, we're going to play it like he is. Because that is a possibility. And I don't feel like pulling out another color. But yeah. Kind of looks like he's going the other way though, which is weird. Kind of. Maybe I'm not curving enough. Also, I need to zoom this in a bit. Oh, we could play some magic stuff into this, though, because that could be really cool. Because that kind of looks like a magical effect, like a spell. Maybe his spinning causes some kind of magic stuff. Well, Beyblade. I don't know. I mean, Beyblades are inspired by tops, and this is inspired by tops. I was slightly, ever so tiny into Beyblade, only because I wanted a top that could do battle, and I had a Beyblade that like you could spin it and everything and it'd come out, but like it didn't do the battle thing, so that was as far as it went for me. But it was still like that was a really cool idea, like if you could have that. Probably put some up here. Is that is it some sort of line that follow the move, or is it a spinning effect? It's from him spinning. So, like, if you'll notice on the mushrooms, we have this sort of drooping thing going. And so what I'm thinking is that's just spun around with him spinning. Maybe to help sell the fact of which direction he's going, or the fact that he's spinning. I don't know. I don't know that we'll keep it. I put it there. I made a copy just in case we don't. What do y'all think about it? Maybe in the tutorial you could have a boss be a sprout, and then it dies in one hit. Well, that doesn't make much sense. Try erasing the black. Yeah. It could drop a thing that lets you spin the charge and then land a real strong attack. Kind of like some Dark Souls weapons, or just spin with your weapon and basically invincible for a second. Perfection. Good. Maybe the purple stuff leaks occasionally and makes you slip. No. I think the ropey stuff looks good. Alright, seems y'all like it. Good. I think that'll be enough for him for now. And so now we move on to the hat character. So I'm going to show him again right quick for anybody that's new. We have a guy here that throws his hat. That's it. And so, I'll say the movement's a little different too. What he does is he moves about. And then, like, whenever he gets too far away, he just changes direction. And sort of in the way that you're going, but not, ideally not directly at you. So he has a sort of, he doesn't strafe like everybody else. He sort of just keeps in the general vicinity, but sort of meanders about. And if you get too far, he sort of wanders towards you. And doesn't do all that. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to show the thing with truffles. Another thing I've been working on is the taming mechanic. In the game, you'll be able to tame pets. This is probably how you'll get most of your pets. And so you'll toss them some food they'll eat, and then boop, and then that's story stuff. So yeah. Oh, I did an outline map, didn't I? Screwed up some outline numbers. Anyhow, so that's what we're going to work on. We're going to work on that guy. I think I want to give him a red hat, so we'll probably have some red mushrooms, maybe. Maybe it's a mushroom that throws their cap at you. That's the idea. Could be a frog-like monster trying to eat you with his tongue. That feels like it's the same concept, but doing it as a frog feels generic. Whereas doing it as a mushroom that throws its cap is more interesting, in my opinion. I'm going to remove this right here. I don't know how that happened, but... I'll go ahead and fix that right quick. So, make flat a frisbee-like cap. Probably. Spinny down. Let's what? Spun guy down. Spinny shroom. Tiny red cap mushroom. I'm thinking a red cap because the cap is the dangerous part, and I want it to stand out. So yeah, I'm thinking a red cap. Probably similar body to this guy. Let's see. So with this, we'll have to design like with the cap and without the cap. How much time do we have? Probably have to make this one quick. So, what someone said earlier, which I really liked, was sort of like, let me grab a silhouette color, sort of like having the mushroom. Maybe something like that, just something nothing too shallow, and then have just like a really short body. And so when they throw their mushroom, now the hat feels too big, which is my concern. When they throw the mushroom, like you see a whole different critter under the cap. I like the idea, but doing this, the cap feels too big for the body. If it's a mushroom that flings his hat around, for flungus. It's a pretty good one. I'll take a note. Flungus. Make a parrying move that stuns enemies if you parry it at the right time. I'm not interested right now in adding parrying and countering and all that kind of stuff, because that leads itself to a more action-filling combat, where I don't want that feeling. I want the combat to feel basic, but with options. Like you can do things like... I want the combat to be interesting, but I don't want it to feel like that's the reason you play the game. So I'm intentionally avoiding very action-y things. And I think parrying and that kind of thing is something that I'm probably going to avoid. And I'm just going to have it be a simple attack, and you can select abilities to use. Red mushroom hat, yeah, the hat's probably going to be red. Because it's dangerous. But I don't... If we don't use it here, this kind of seems interesting. I'm on the fence about it. It'd be something I'd want to sketch out further. But I don't know that we'll do it here. So instead... it's a harsh color to do against. Over here. So instead, let's grab the player. Oh, I put it in the layer that we're drawing on. Never mind. Usually I separate that out, but I guess not. Alright, I'll bring him over here. Over here. So that we can have a reference for size. Now with this guy, I don't want him to be too big. And, like I said, we're still at a bit of a goofy point in the game so far. So, we'll probably lean into that with this character. Maybe some exaggerated features. What features should we exaggerate? Maybe maybe he looks silly under the hat. Super tiny legs. Well, when we exaggerate something, when I exaggerate something about a character, I want it to fit the character. I want it to make sense for why it's being exaggerated. Like, for example, with the guy, I tried to exaggerate that shoulder and that arm because that's what he's going to hit you with, you know. So that's sort of what I'm aiming for. What kind of stance does he take as well? Now, keep in mind, he's more of a ranged character, sort of a meandering character. Like, that was the point. That was what I was trying to get across with the movement, was that he's not. Is that he's sort of just chilling out. I tried to do it further out, but I decided to go like it was too much of an effort to figure all that out. And so I've got a demo to make. I don't have time to make anything too fancy. So I just sort of had him chilling around. I might even add just a tiny bit of noise. Maybe. I'm not like a weird if I do it. But just a sort of goofy character. He could have one fat leg that he hops on. The long arm throws the thing. A long arm, like that was more in the vein of what I'm thinking of. Like if I were to exaggerate something, it'd probably be like a longer arm. I don't know. Maybe, well, what I'm thinking of instead is maybe something with the head under the hat. Like, he looks like a normal mushroom until he throws his hat. At which point, he maybe is a bit goofy looking. Maybe I kind of did this accidentally because I'm fumbling my controls right now, but I'm kind of liking this sort of regular style of pose. Maybe some longer legs than normal. It's like a typical actual pose. You know what? That looks good, but it's the wrong direction. And it's accidentally the wrong direction, but I think we're going to flip that. Have that be the right direction. Just a normal mushroom looking dude. Maybe like, it's a bit too much character development, but it kind of reminds me of like a mysterious type of character. A smaller identical mushroom under the hat, like a maybe that's a really good idea. When he throws the hat, he's got like another little mushroom under his head. A smaller hat, that's what I was thinking. Oh, a smaller hat? Oh, and I was thinking of a tiny mushroom under his head, like sitting on his shoulders. He actually throws the hat. But that could also work. We'll test both of those. The arms are really, I don't know, TGs. But then he throw in smaller and smaller hats. Tiny mushroom is always freaking out. I'm thinking he's a very excitable, just like kind of, kind of. Is a very hyper critter, like a very he's right here. He's very calm and collected, and he's got this little tiny mushroom on his back. That's very. maybe maybe when he's animating it, like he throws it, and then the tiny mushroom swinging his arms out, and then he sort of looks back at it, and then as it's coming back. Oh man, just sort of a little bit of a grumpy face. it's hard to see for some reason. That's probably because of the Oh man. Is it Come on now. Is it Better idea. It's actually two mushroom ones sitting on the top of the corner, but the bottom one throws the top of the. Sounds like a lot of work. The tiny mushroom is the brain, the big one is the brawn. Imagine the little mushroom is super aggressive while the big one is calm. Starts cooking. Yes, could do something like that. He's sort of jumping up and down. I like it. Now I also want to I think this is funny, but there's also the option for a smaller hat. So let's play around with that as well. Maybe it's the top hat. Because we do have a bit of a top hat joke going around. Also a possibility. Good luck with the rest of the design. Well, thank you. Mushroom girl. We could do a mushroom girl. Actually, I would really like to do that too. That sounds really nice. Top hat mushroom. Yeah. When he first aggroes, the cap could do a little hop off his head and introduce him. Little peek back. Yeah, we could do that. Just a tiny little peek back, and he pulls it back down. I'll take a note of that. And when Yo-Yo, not all the time, maybe just a rare event. When Yo-Yo encounters player, tiny mushroom peeks its head out from under the hat. Pretty good. Father mushroom, son mushroom right there. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe something like that. Because I was even thinking like, imagine one of those like little backpack type things so you can put a baby in it. I mean, it wouldn't work with the hat, but just kind of gives me that kind of vibe. Every time he throws his hat, he gets a new hat that is funnier. Mm-hmm. No, that would take a lot of work. Maybe a little mushroom in the ground, and then he emerges as a tall mushroom as the root. Tall root. Not what you're talking about. Maybe we could use different types of mushrooms for different enemy behaviors. What did you have in mind for that? Like, what do you mean different types of mushrooms? Like different species? Is that a right word? I don't know if that's the right word. I don't want to lock myself into that kind of thing, I don't think. Because as you can see, like, over here, I just drew a flat mushroom because it's going to be like a frisbee type hat. This one's more of a bowl shaped because it's got that point for the top. Now I'm not wanting to really, like, I'm not even considering species. as for these. I'm just thinking more of a utility purpose. Have a small. It has. Oh, we could separate the small one. I don't know that we'll do that for the demo, but that's certainly something we could do for the full game. Well, it kind of feels bad. We don't want to defeat the small. Like he becomes invulnerable. Like you can't damage the small one. I think. I feel like that'd be too cruel, hunting down the small mushroom. Would that confuse the player though? Something to consider. Maybe it could be purple instead of food. Purple is reserved for magic, so it'd have to be magic for that what you use it for. Oh, okay. Let's see, where are we at for time wise? Yeah, we got time to color this guy in real quick. Yeah, it runs out. I'm thinking we could do that. Like it. I wonder if the player's gonna feel bad having to take this guy out though. Because these are fodder enemies. We're gonna do this one. Like they're supposed to be encountering a lot of these. For the yo-yo enemy, does the hat check to see if the enemy is dead? How does it handle the return function? So for that, I haven't gotten to yet. I've just prototyped the enemy. So it exists. I'm not separating it currently from the enemy. I'm setting it as top level whenever it does the attack, so that it can move freely without the enemy. And then once it returns, I'd unset that. And so if the enemy dies, the hat is still parented to it. So it gets removed currently. At the moment, I don't know what I want to do with that. I may disconnect it. And then whenever I do, I'll probably just even spawn a new projectile. But the idea being that I'll tell it when I've exited the tree, it maybe do the poof up and smoke for the enemy, and then maybe the hat delayed slightly after that as well. Yo-yo leash, oof. I'm thinking more magical maybe. I don't want to do a leash. I don't want to do. I don't know. I don't think I want to do that though. Pink would be a good color. For what we're talking about. Yeah. All right. All this makes me want to see an enemy that releases other enemies as a way of attacking. We talked about earlier on a bigger golem throwing little golems. The one that we did over here. So that might be a thing. I'm making him a cunnet. I don't know what that is. Is it just me? Does this guy look similar to Marcus Pearson? I don't think so. Don't see why you would think so. Give him boots? What for? What kind of boots? I don't know that we need boots. I don't think we need boots. The way the cat casts shadow onto his face makes him look like an edgy assassin. Sort of the look I was going for from the very beginning. I sort of want this sort of mysterious assassin type looking character. And then when you take it off, he's got this goofy little kid under him. Mechanids are fungal humanoids, very similar to what I got you. Yeah, it's going to be that. There's also a snail dude if you like that kind of thing. Little snail dude. I started out with this one. Maybe it's too much of a... Like, I tried to do a merchant, but then I don't like that color either. I tried to incorporate the Huion, but still working on it. Okay. Just a bit of blue undertone here. Interesting that I have 3 colors. Probably skip with it there. Probably do a bit here. The hat would look cool with spikes. Probably. It's a good idea. Also, I'm going to do the outline right quick. Then we'll look at some spikes. Spikes would help sail the danger. We did say a red cap, didn't we? We'll take a look at that as well. No. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Probably just better off getting rid of this. Whatever. And we'll just erase that. Oop. And then we'll put that shadow back. Something like that. Now it looks like a real enemy because of the outline. Looks perfect. Thank you. I think it would look cool if you were to give a poison effect after he dies. From the assassin type thing, maybe. I do have status effects into the game. I haven't showed it off to anybody, but I've added it to where you can have, there's even a poison effect. So that could be a thing. Speaking of which, I want to get some mechanics for the caves. So after we finish this up, we'll probably try and do some brainstorming for what kind of mechanics we could find in this dungeon, in the cave system. What if the little guy goes kamikaze on you and runs at you? I don't think I want the little guy to be harmable. That's going to be a tough question. And that's not guaranteed to have a little guy there. Because there is a lot of tough questions to get to with that little guy that I'm concerned about. And I don't think I want him to be harmable. It would just fall down once it hits you. The hat returns when it hits him, when it hits you. The little guy is decor for gameplay perspective. Correct. Maybe when it dies, it explodes into poisonous cloud. Maybe the hat. Also a bit weary of that type of thing. I hate avoiding enemies when they die, especially consider item collection, because there's a whole process here of like defeating an enemy, collecting the items from it, and then moving on quickly. Like, I don't want you to have to sit there and wait on it. So that's a problem with that. Is if I was to do a poison thing, you'd have to wait for the poison clouds to dissipate before gathering your items. And this is a common fodder enemy. He's not meant to be like a rare encounter or anything. That guy isn't wrong about spores. Guess you forgot about. I haven't forgot. I mentioned it a second ago. Just playing around and thinking. We can try red though. I don't have another, or do I? I don't know. Ah, crap. But anytime we draw here, by the way, these colors are not set in stone. It kind of loses its cool factor, I think. Then again, the red's probably a bad choice. But colors here, like they're going to change, shapes are going to change. When I finish up here, this is more of a concepting thing. I usually will polish things up later, change colors around, stuff like that. Like if you look at the necromancer, where he is from where we started, like when we drew him on stream, he's nothing at all like what we had. Even this guy, I took off that hood because I didn't like how the hood looked. Things change. This is just to get an idea across. And I think for now the blue looks cooler. We can always tweak the red later. Now spikes were mentioned, which I want to take a look at. I'm going to go with this one. Because I do think spikes on the brim could work. I want to make a copy of this guy first though. Could I support other enemy types by slowing? Wait, could it support other enemy types by slowing down the player via spores or similar? I don't want to do any annoying status effects like slow. This is for the demo, and so I'm trying to put my best foot forward, and I want to avoid annoying the player, especially for the demo. Because if you consider like it's only about 15 minutes of gameplay, if 5 minutes of that is being slowed, you're going to think badly of the game probably. He could have some dots around his body, purple maybe. I don't imagine him as a purple character. If anything, he'd have green. I might be associating green with more ranger type characters. Green hat might be something to play around with, actually. The green might, well. And so I'm thinking of this character as more of a roguish type character. Oh, I kind of like that, actually. What do y'all think? Good. All right, that looks a lot better. It should have some color spots and not just flat colors. That's something I can work on later. I'm more concerned about the overall feel of the thing. I'm not paid to think. So are you going to have bosses? I'm going to have bosses. That might be something we work on soon. I've designed the cave area, and the idea is to have a boss at the final chamber. Maybe. I want to have a boss, but it's very low on my priority right now. Like, that would require a whole lot of design and stuff, which I don't have a lot of time right now. Right now, I would like to be polishing things at this point in time. But I'm still doing final touches on the cave stuff, which is what we're doing here. We're making these cave enemies. And after that, and cave mechanics, which we're going to discuss here in just a little bit. After that, if we have time, I would like to do bosses. If we get all that polished stuff out of the way. Because there's a lot of stuff I want to do coming up next month. I'm thinking about doing some front-facing player sprites, maybe even NPCs. A lot of animations, a lot of decorations, that kind of thing. Very, very time-consuming stuff. And I'm concerned that I don't have time for a boss. I would like to have one, really would. But I don't know that I will. Now, what if, Hero mentioned some red spots. Well, not some spots. What about some red spots? Or does that look too much Christmas, too Christmassy? I don't know. I'll have to look at some mushrooms. See what kind of things they have going on. I want the spots to look dangerous, but also spikes. We need to look at spikes right quick. See. Full time and then some, yeah. I've up for ever since probably about a month ago. I've been putting about more than full time, usually about anywhere from 8 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, into the project because I want the demo to be as good as I can. So I'm just throwing my time into it. I mean, it's not like an issue for me because I love this kind of thing. This is more of a recreational thing for me. Like, I don't play games. I don't, do anything else but learn game development stuff. So I've been throwing a lot of time into this lately. Trying to make it as good as I can. Could there be a mushroom NPC? Yeah, the more than likely will be mushroom NPC. Please add spiders that shoot webs and bite. That one I'm on the fence with. At least not for the demo. That's more... Spiders are very generic. I want to... With my enemies, I'm wanting to say that, hey, I'm not making a cookie cutter RPG. Ignore the skellies. Skellies is a funny one. A little bit of backstory behind that. The reason the story calls for a necromancer, but the reason I went with skellies first was because it was a safe bet. Like, I spent a long time trying to figure out good enemy designs and drawing enemies, and I was just getting nowhere. I was like, you know what? I'm doing a skeleton. And so that's why we use very basic skelly. But other than that, I want enemies to be memorable. And spiders just don't sell it for me. Like a mushroom assassin, that sounds unique. Guy spinning on his mushroom top, that sounds unique. Tiny golem, memorable stuff. So that's what I'm going for. I really like this guy, and I might use this silhouette for something else. Mushroom centipede. Weird combination. Mushroom centipede that splits into segments and shoots projectiles as it loses segments. That makes me feel like a roguelike. A pet rock. Yes. Pet rock. That's beautiful. I like weird things. Weird things are pretty nice. Could you make an illusion enemy? There's probably going to be some illusion stuff. I don't know what to do with it gameplay wise, but there's probably going to be some illusion stuff. And in fact, what I'm thinking of currently, I don't know that I'll do this or not, but what I'm thinking of currently is having magic play a part in all the classes, potentially. Like, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. But, like, instead of having a mage class, everything has the potential for magic. So, like, the warrior could have offensive buffs and that kind of thing. That would be their job, and, sort of tanky kind of things. Rogue would have more illusion type spells. Maybe some distraction, maybe more crowd control, that kind of thing. And so, like, a trickster could be a specialization off of the rogue class. So I'm thinking I do want to play with some illusion and stuff. I'm not sure to what extent and how to implement it. But that's down the road. But that's something I'm considering. The shroomies is actually hold on. Shroomies should have different colors to differentiate them from other things like green mage. That's sort of what I'm doing. Huion doesn't have a role. The only reason I went with Huion is because I think it was a really pretty color for the caves that I'm going for. I'm wanting to have pretty lights and stuff, everything. Like the lighting system that I use, I set it up to where it can change colors and blend colors and kind of still working on that one. And so I would like to have pretty little colors. And so that's why I went with Huion. But the reason I went with the green here is because it's sort of assassiny. Yeah. So we'll probably associate colors with different enemy types, different player character types as well. Like you'll notice, if we look at the characters here, Selena. Who is Selena? Where did I even pull that from? I think that was from Joel's Final Fantasy game mentioning it. The not Selena here is, as you notice, she's sort of a cool color. She's got that healing thing. Might be something we use for Huion. But you'll notice, like, the guard here, he's got red to him, that sort of associate that with melee. And then he's got a bit of green to him, more of a ranger type color. She's probably going to have more green to her as well, because she's a very ranger type character. Whereas you have the purple for the mages. Purple's the more important one. That's the one I want to associate with, like, full-on magic. But yeah. sort of what I'm thinking is we'll have colors associated with different character types and their combat roles. But shroomies, it sounds fun. I'll make a note of that, if that's not already a thing. A blind mushroom enemy. What does a blind mushroom enemy do? If you have suggestions, though, the best place to put them is in the Discord. But because I'm not going to go back and forth with enemy types right now. Apparently I seem to be answering some questions, but that's cool. I think that's probably as far as we got with this guy. I'll probably do some spikes later, but I'll ask him some questions if I got them. And then I want to talk about the cave mechanics. We might probably discuss that very briefly, because it's tricky. I don't know what I want to do with caves mechanically. But yeah, mushroom staff for mushroom class. We'll probably have to do some kind of mushroom mage. Actually, I would love to do that for the demo. That might be something I'll work on later, like a little mushroom mage. It still have to be silly, though, because like I said, at this point in the game, things are still a bit goofy. Nothing has kicked in. Summoning spells would be fun. There's already a summoning spell. So, there's already summoning stuff. I'm planning to have an entire summoning class, probably a necromancer, or not class, but like a specialization, as well as a summoner specialization, as well as probably a necromancy specialization. So, as a necromancer, you'll be able to summon the skelly and have him do things. I'm thinking a summoner class would be interesting because, like, maybe it has some like bound mechanics, like you bind entities that you summon, and maybe you keep summoning the same entity, and you sort of build a relationship with that entity. Something for much further down the road if we get into that, but I think that would be a really cool mechanic. Let's see, secret rock enemy that drops pet rock. Probably. Let's see. So anyhow, do y'all have any suggestions for types of mechanics we could encounter? I'm fine with having pure combat mechanics in the mushroom. Not the mushroom, but in the caves. Because I'm going to have a lot of gameplay up front, like before you get into the caves, sort of exploring the town, checking out the shops, maybe seeing that crafting like weapons and stuff is an option, maybe some enchanting type things. And that's the core of the gameplay. I'm not too concerned about extra features in the caves, but it would be interesting to have something other than just traveling through the cave fighting things. Zerg rush enemies? No, I'm not one to do too many enemies. You're probably never going to fight more than just a few enemies at one time, typically. Except for maybe swarm type enemies. But that's not something I'm not talking about enemies here. I'm talking about just fun things like push like your typical button open a door. I don't want to do something so typical, but you get what I mean. Like things to do in the cave. Vision is impaired in caves. It's going to have a lighting mechanic, so it will be slightly impaired there. Mining, I think this is not a resource gathering game, so there may not be mining. I don't think. It could be useful for the weapon materials, but I don't want in the demo. I don't want to get the point across that it's about resource gathering. Cave tunnels, already. That's more of an exploration type thing. And also I don't want it to be too long. Like, I want you to be able to do the whole cave scene in probably about a couple minutes. That's nothing too crazy. Because the demo gameplay itself is probably about 15 minutes long. That's what I'm shooting for. Hidden explosives that can trigger at any time. Now, one thing I am wanting to play with is maybe it's a crystal mine. Because there's probably going to be some crystals there, like glowing magic crystals. So maybe there is some kind of explosive type things that you have to watch out for. That's a really good one. What if crystals light up when something is near, but other than that it's pitch black? Oh, that could be cool. Crystals detect life presence. Crystals that warp. How magic works somehow. Oh, that's also very cool. It could maybe it just I don't know that will warp so much as like an enhance and change behaviors, because that's a lot of work for time that I don't have. But amplifies magic could be interesting, like nearby magic. Confusing if the player doesn't understand what's going on, but something to consider for sure. Crystals alter nearby magic. We'll say that. What if there are evil spores that don't like the light? I'm going to say tiny creature that avoids the light. That's more of an enemy thing, though. And laser crystals? No, I don't think so. Maybe a lightning type crystal, though. Like, not necessarily specifically lightning, but sort of in that vein. And I'm not thinking like from the crystal to you, but more of like it charges the nearby area and maybe cast bolt down, causes bolts to cast down maybe. Doesn't make sense though, I don't think, but we'll see. Environmental streams alter with light. Well, they're going to provide light. I think that's going to be the main light source down there. That and crystals. And the player is probably going to have like a torch or something that they can carry. Because when you're exploring like caves and dungeons and stuff, it's probably going to be a bit dark. We'll have to see how annoying that is. Well, probably have some lit areas, but we'll see. So the player looks for crystals and shrooms that glow ahead for them to light to see by. You'll have your own light. Like if I say time night, you have your own light. So I don't think you're going to have to be moved from light to light. That could be an idea. Something to consider. Move from light to light. Oh, you changed. Yeah, change the light a bit. What do y'all think of the new lighting? It's not circular anymore. I think it added more depth to it. Also, and I've gone with a bit of a different blending for the like torches and stuff. And also, I was going to mention this, but there's also the option for colored light right now. So, and the main light is not meant to overpower all the other light, but this is the idea, is that you'll have like different colors in the cave stuff, and maybe, hopefully it'll blend better, but I'll look at that at a different time. Stalactites could fall from the ceiling. Oh, that could be a good thing. Or a light puzzle where you need to rotate. I'm not looking to do puzzles for the demo. That's a lot of time development that I don't have, but I'll read it anyhow. Where you need to rotate crystals so a small light beam hits the deflector to open the door and more fun. Press button, open the door puzzle. Yeah. No, I don't think so. The light pulses a bit too fast. I think it pulses. I don't know. I don't think so. What do y'all think? I think, if anything, I think it's too slow. Would your light around you be dimmer than the torch light? Depends on what we're doing for the cave. The idea for this light is like a general exploration light. Like maybe you've got a lantern on you or something like that. And so as you're traveling through the open world, you don't want to, like I'm not going to have torches everywhere. You want to be able to see while you're here and exploring and stuff. And so I don't want to... If I dim the light, it would be because you don't have a torch. And that's something I could look into for gameplay wise. It would require placing a bunch of light, making sure it's not resource intensive or anything like that. But yeah, it's something I plan to look at for sure. Skeletons holding torches to make light and show the other enemies in the room. Enemies holding, I like that. Enemies holding torches and stuff. Now, skellies ain't going to be in the caves, though. So this won't be in the demo, but yeah. Cave mechanics, falling rocks signaled by smaller falling rocks around the area before the bigger one drops. Maybe a shadow there. And I was thinking the shadow could have smaller rocks as well, like little particles. And man, maybe they fade, alpha fade, as they fall to help. Maybe falling rock particles. Alpha fading. Now I'm curious. I would like to do that aesthetically, maybe. Like as you're walking, things like little rocks bits fall. Like this is a little polished thing. Curious if that would confuse the player though. Let's see. Are you going to have cave sounds? More than likely, yes. However, I think like I've answered enough questions for now. Like appreciate all the questions, but I've been answering questions for about 10 minutes or so now. I think we're going to call it here. If you have any more, I'll be in the Discord. There's a command. I'll be in the Discord, and I usually answer questions and stuff like that after we do these streams. Happy to answer them. And I'm going to head out. Y'all take it easy. Appreciate y'all watching.